most women think March is the most important month because it's Women's Month. But April is the most important month, is it not, Judith?
I agree.
And why
I
do you agree, Mrs. Awesome? What are we? Are we Rams?
Okay, I'm Aries first. That like I was born in April, and clearly I'm Aries. And one thing about Aries, we are bold, we are confident, we like to believe we are, a comedian. We like to believe that we are fun people. And to be honest, we are actually fun. I don't care about what people think, but yes, I am fun, right? And growing up as a child, I've always seen myself trying to put smile on people's faces, especially
Oh,
my friends. Yeah, especially my friends. And I hate bullies a lot. So you see
mm,
me always wanting to step in to say, okay, what's the problem? Why
mm.
is your face like this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that to her? Exactly, right? So that also has built me in a way that I couldn't even imagine. Even growing up, I had no knowledge about human resource management. For a fact, I wanted to be a pharmacist, right? So when I got into school, I saw how serious they were. I mean, no shade to the pharmacists out there, but I felt like, oh, this is not for me. I have to look for something else. And then I finally settled for public health. But when I left school and I got into the real world reality, I decided that, okay, I don't want to pursue public health anymore. Let me look for something that is aligned with my
Mm,
values, my goals, and what I think, I would
mm,
really excel in. And
mm,
as God who made me mentors, shout out to my mentor, Abby. I mean, and I found, I started as an admin, and then I found a sister in this lady, Abby. Like she
mm,
literally brought me in, taught me the entire process, and literally groomed me into what I have become
mm,
today. And shout out
mm,
to her. I want all the accolades to her because she did a great job to, bring in or
mm.
build in this lady I am today. So that's about it.
Well,
That's
I
about
have goosebumps. I got goosebumps. They went away. I got goosebumps more when you said her name again, and then I got three times goosebumps when you talked about your mentor. How beautiful that a powerful woman saw a young woman administrator and brought her up to one of the leading HRs in the tough world of managing people. So um,
yeah.
that brings me to a question. Do you think we joke because Aries, we're fighters, we don't give up, or we scare men,
So
but
at all.
but do you think you were there's something like when you look at your brothers and sisters, like were you born to be like a fighter against bullies and someone who wants to make people smile,
Mm.
or is that groomed into you? Are we born the way we are, or
So I'm going to say that growing up as a Nigerian woman, strength isn't what we chose to be. It was something we had to be, right? Like we are in a society that has, shaped women into demanding so much strength from us, resilience, adaptability, right? And in all of this, I mean, it's expected because we are expected to do a lot of things. We wear a lot of caps, right? From
mm,
family expectations to the society norms, even in the in professional space where we have like politics, leadership, businesses, right? We are constantly fighting to be
mm,
heard. We're fighting for those that feel unheard. We're
mm,
fighting for those leadership roles. And if eventually we earn a seat on that table, our decisions are even questioned. So it's a battle. So strength wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. It was something you must have to grow
mm,
in a path in a system that we're trying to navigate things, and it demands a lot of strength. It tests
mm.
you on a daily basis. So I
Mm.
mean, you have to have strength. You just have to. You just
So
have to.
so I know some Nigerian guys. I know lots more Nigerian women because I work with women and I love their dresses much more than the men's dresses. So when I was in Abuja last year in May, I just noticed like the way women talk, like the most powerful, authentic manner of speaking that would scare Europeans, if I can be
Passionate.
honest. Yeah, like
Passionate is the word.
it's just like Europeans talk at this level and Nigerians talk at like this level. So I wonder, what are your, you don't have to answer it the way, you can answer it the way you want, but if it's so hard for women in Nigeria, does that not also mean that the men are not very supportive to women in that environment and you have to fight the men? And are they fighting back, or is it turning into a nice co-growth of the country, or is it really a big fight?
So I'm going to say it's a mix of both,
Okay.
right? And I'm not trying to shade anybody per se, but then you are in a space where the company is saying we are we inclusive, we diversity, we practice this culture, and then when you get into that organization, you see that you're constantly fighting to, for those leadership roles in the male dominated space. But these males are seeing you, or when you eventually even have the space, this male are seeing you as, oh, she just have a pretty face, I don't
Oh,
think your opinion matters. And then when you leave the boardroom, and then you leave the boardroom, next thing you're hearing is, I think you could have said one or two things there. But why are you saying that? Like, I tried to say something and you literally shut me up, right?
yeah.
So I won't say that they practice what they preach, right? They would give you one hand and say, yes, we need you here and we think you deserve this shot. And then when you're in that space trying to prove yourself, they tell
Mm,
you, oh, I don't think your opinion matters. So it's a mix of both. And I know that, and I'm not trying to shade anybody, but I know that there's some men out there that literally trying to, give that helping hand to women and
yeah.
say, oh, I see you and I want to support you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit mix of both.
Well, because of what's happening in the United States, of course, it makes the news with the yellow-haired man and cutting all the diversity and inclusion. And my idea is, in countries where there aren't that many roles, like there's very high in Spain where I live, there's 30% unemployment. It's very hard. It's hard to get a job for anyone. And expats who have a privileged place in society, we don't have good jobs either. It's a hard economy. So if I now think of countries that struggle with more corruption in the politics, which I would say Nigeria, it makes it tough for its people.
True.
There, it's like there aren't that many high positions of power, perhaps, right? And it's like, why would I give my seat up for a pretty face, right? Like, I want this position. And if there's also very strong, very intelligent Nigerian women coming up, well, that could be intimidating to the entitled men. So, of course, they're going to
Actually,
fight. I'm not going to give up my
actually,
seat. How am I going to pay my bills and feed my children? So, if there's only so many positions up here, you're entering in a man's world. It's competitive up there. So, we have to act like men, perhaps, to be up there. Or I don't know. Do you think we have to is there room for some femininity up at that level, or do we just have to enter into their world until things change on a bigger scale?
like I said, we have to regardless, because if we don't work twice the size or the twice the amount that this may work, they would never
Yeah.
see our worth, right?
Mm,
And the funniest thing in all of this, or the powerful thing in all of this, is that we are not just fighting for survival, we are fighting to change things. In politics today in Nigeria, we have less than 10% of the National Assembly seats held by women. I
true.
mean, is it substantial? No, it's not. Was this the case before? No, it's not. Did progress eventually occur? Yes, it did, but of course, we are still far from it, right? But the women before us have been able to, so much sacrifice put in it, blood and sweat put in it. I mean, they have two times proven themselves that we are
Yes.
way capable to do this, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's why I say that when you look at these people before us, that the women before us, and look at you as well, we are inspired by what you have been doing. We are inspired by the women before us. So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
we want to join in this fight, even it's
Mm-hmm.
feminism. We are all there. Like, we would go there the length, because we deserve this. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to have those seats on the table. Our decisions shouldn't be questioned. And if you tell me I'm too much, hello, I'm not too much. I'm just unapologetic about it, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Unapologetic. I've
Oh
decided
yeah.
after being in Nigeria that Nigerian women need to teach, we need to open, you guys need to open a Nigerian Institute for Unapologetic Women.
Oh yeah.
Because everywhere I've gone, Women apologize before speaking. They apologize for not knowing everything. They apologize for smelling like perfume. They apologize for not having the best ideas. They're constantly apologizing to appease men. And Nigerian women, the ones I've met, are not apologizing, and no denying it, right? And we need that energy, but we don't have that energy as white women because we're entitled and privileged, and we've never had to fight for that. There are some women who aren't entitled and privileged, and they've had very hard lives, those women. So it's not about being white or colored. It's about, did you have to fight for where you are, or was it handed to you? So most of us white girls in middle class Canada, it was just handed to us. I have zero resilience, right? I'm like, I cry all the time, like, how I shouldn't be leading organizations for sure, but women who deserve to be up there, like, why aren't we giving them the spots, right? It's like, why do we have women work double as hard? That is ridiculous. And raise the children and carry the children and fucking and breastfeed at the same time. Like,
it's I can't even express my frustration right now. I mean, we deserve a shot, regardless. Regardless, we do actually. We do. And to be honest with you, being strong doesn't necessarily mean we have it all figured out. There's some days that are harder than the others. I mean, imposter syndrome is a deal. It's a real deal. Self-doubt creeps in all the time. But you still have to show up regardless. I mean, you still have to show up. Is the late nights, is the little victories, the little encouragements that you encourage yourself behind closed doors that have shaped us today or what we are today. It builds up. So, I mean, we deserve a shot. We do.
This talk is about habits. So the research in corporate training, I'm in corporate training, is that mindset shift, that's like a long-term thing, right? You can't change someone's mindset in like a couple hours of corporate training. You can't really change how people think. We think the way we do since we are 5 years old. Okay, so that stuff's hard work. That takes some inner work. But what you can change is people's habits. And so I would love to know, are there some habits that you've seen your mentor? What habits did she teach you to become the powerful, unapologetic woman that you became?
Okay, so one of the things she taught me, or I took from her actually, was self-awareness, right? She would always say, a leader, if you have to be exceptional, you have to understand self-management, right? Self-management in the sense that understand yourself, right? And understand, and there are different types of self. So you have to understand the different types of selves, the different dimension of selves, and how they interrelate. So this is a whole different ballgame. However, self-awareness is key because in that way you understand your triggers. You understand how to manage those triggers. You understand when to, pause, recalibrate, recharge, and come back even harder. And people think it's a sign of weakness. I don't think it's a sign of weakness. I mean, when you take a pause and come back recharged, you come back 2 times stronger than you were, right? And another thing is faith. My faith has made me perceive things differently. Like just the way I perceive challenges are different. I see challenges as a stepping stone to something greater. I also understand that challenges never last forever, but what does are the lessons we take from it. So you have to pay attention to those lessons because they will last a long time. Like it would take you a long time, and even your generation can even benefit from it, right? And then another thing is your community. I understand when people say I'm very particular about how the people I bring into my circle. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because they are pillar of strength. In those days where you have self-doubts, you question your capability, you fall back to your circle. They're the ones to remind you, hey, I've seen you do this before. This is not any different from what you did before. You are capable. So you draw strength from those people. And with this habit, I've been able to, stay strong, come back even harder, keep pushing, and keep seeing that change that I've always aimed to get. So these habits are really powerful for me and they keep me grounded. Yeah.
Beautiful. It sounds like if you just label up, it's personal development. Know yourself. You know what triggers you. You know what gets you down, and you have a community that lifts you up. It's not that complicated, men. Like,
At
get
all.
on the train. Like, try
At
that
all.
out,
At all.
right?
At all.
But
It's
the
not.
self-awareness is the hardest thing on earth. I think that's why most people, and I for a long time, skipped it, because it's painful to look inside and go, oh, this triggers me. Oh, this hasn't been healed yet. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
this happens. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
not perfect. Well,
Yeah.
that's reality. And then
But
learn how
that's,
to manage it.
sorry to cut you, but I think that's the biggest thing. I think that is where we should all start from, self management. Because if you don't understand that self management, you're giving someone else the power to trigger
Mhm.
you and make you act out of place. I mean, you cannot be in a boardroom and you're acting out of place because
Yeah,
of what someone said that have triggered you. So I
yeah.
think that it's really important. We always start from there. Self management is really
Mm,
important.
mm. What a great sentence. You can't be in the boardroom and be acting out, because acting out is like a word that we say about children, right? Who don't know how to control their impulses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
controlling your impulses. And so that's so many habits in it, right? It's like first is awareness, and then you need a habit for when this happens, a habit when that happens. Like, and the habit shouldn't be drinking, right? Which is how most people deal with their
I mean,
problems.
we can drink after work though, but I don't have a problem with that.
But how to deal with, well, how to deal with ourselves is really what defines the winners and the ones that aren't winning in life, unfortunately. Because if you can't control yourself, you're not resilient. If you're not resilient, everything gets you down. Everyone controls your own state of mind. And I
Yeah,
suppose Nigerian women have learned that if you don't control this, the society is not going to be very great. So you have
clearly,
to, yeah. Have you,
clearly.
did you have, I don't know, did you have a dream when you were little that like you saw, I don't know, like our little girls in Nigeria with their beautiful names. I love Nigerian names. They're the most beautiful. Your name is quite normal, I have to say, Judith. Do you not have
Yeah.
a longer name with lots of O's and W's in it?
Oh, of course I do. I
Ah,
do. My native way. I do.
you do.
Um, do you want to hear it?
I do. It's beautiful, I'm sure.
Okay, my name is Chineyewa.
Wow. Chinewa.
Yeah. Yeah,
Chinewa.
that's my native name.
So
Speaking.
you also have a short last name, which also doesn't, it sounds like there might be another one in there.
No, no, no. Yeah, that's actually it. That's actually
That's it.
Ike. That's it. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I like your name because it looks like to me when I read it quickly, right? It looks like an L, a K, and an E. So you're just missing the I,
Yeah.
right?
A
And you like
likable
speaking.
person.
What's that?
A likable person.
Yes, likable person. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about if you want to get your voice heard in a boardroom, if you want to be in that environment, you have to also be likable, right? It's like we can't just fight. If you just fight, nobody wants to hang out with you or talk to you. You have to be likable and know when to fight and who to fight and how to fight in the right way. This is combat training for women who want to be at the top, right?
Exactly. Thank you for adding that point. You can't do it all alone. I mean, you
Mm,
cannot infect change alone. You need people to like you first for you to
mm,
infect those change. So yes,
mm,
yes, you have to be
mm.
likable.
Well,
Yeah.
Kiki likes you. Do you know Kiki?
Oh, I like her too.
Yeah. Everything
All
that makes
right.
us a person is making us strong. Beautiful. Well, thank you for your time. You have lots of things to do, lots of things in society to change, and I applaud you. I'm just sitting here interviewing wonderful, strong women and encouraging you guys. So I do say thank you for being stronger than I could be. And I hope to learn from you as I follow you on LinkedIn and see you in Nigeria one year.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much for having me as well. And I'm applauding you for all you're doing for how to be you. It's beautiful to watch and inspiring at that. Thank you so much for doing what you do. We need
Uh,
a people like you. We need a lot of you in Nigeria, actually.
oh my God, I want to go. I have a Nigerian boyfriend. He's half Nigerian and half Spanish. And
Oh,
my highest compliment was like, he's like, now you're an African woman. And I was like, ah!
oh
Because
my
it means I'm
goodness.
strong. It means I'm resilient. I'm not just a weak Canadian girl who needs 12 cookies and a bottle of
Oh
wine,
no.
right? So
No,
I was
you're
very proud of myself when he told me I was like a Nigerian woman.
Oh,
So
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I hope to see you. I hope to see you when next you come to Nigeria.
yeah. Okay. Thanks, Judith.
All right. All right. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.